Hello everyone, welcome back to the Data Science Learning Series. In today's session, we will learn about Seaborn, which is a powerful Python library which is built on top of Matplotlib. Matplotlib को हमने अपने लास्ट वीडियो में पढ़ा था और ये वीडियो उसी वीडियो का कंटिन्यूशन है. So by the end of this video, you will have a solid understanding of how to leverage Seaborn for your data visualization. So let's jump right in. So as always, there is a Jupyter notebook for all of you which is uploaded in my GitHub repository. जिसका लिंक आपको इस वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा. So the very first step, we'll start with the introduction of Seaborn, कि what exactly is Seaborn, and then we'll see कि how it is different from Matplotlib. So basically, Seaborn is a Python data visualization library which is built on top of Matplotlib that provides high-level interface for drawing attractive and informative graphics, which we will see in this video as well. अगर हम लोग बात करें what are the key differences between Seaborn and Matplotlib, तो basically Seaborn is very easy to use when compared to Matplotlib. There are many built-in themes which are available, such as dark theme, white theme. You can also change many other colors as well. There are many statistical plots which are available, such as violin plots, box plots, heat maps, which are either not available or it is little bit of complex in case of Matplotlib. There are also data frame support. It works seamlessly with Panda data frames, whereas you can easily load data frames and you can also build any kind of graphics from the data frame. Having said that, now we will move on to installing Seaborn in our local system. So to do that, we just have to run this simple command and then Seaborn library will be installed on your environment. Then we will move on to some of the basic concepts of Seaborn. So like I mentioned, Seaborn has multiple datasets already available, or it seamlessly integrates with Pandas dataset. So to see all the available datasets in Seaborn, you can also make use of this particular URL, and there you can see there are multiple datasets in CSV files available, like tips, Titanics, taxis, and then planets. All these datasets are available for you. So what we'll do in this session is we'll try to consume a couple of datasets and we'll try to form multiple graphics, multiple charts based on different values, different categories which are available in that dataset. तो सबसे पहले मैं लोड करता हूँ ये टिप्स डेटासेट को और ये एक आइरिस डेटासेट को, एंड देन विल सी व्हाट आर थिंग्स विच आर प्रेजेंट. सो बेसिकली टिप्स डेटासेट में यू हैव अ टोटल बिल, एंड देन लेट्स से $16 का बिल आया है, देन टिप वाज गिवन टू $1, and then a female was there, she was non-smoker, she did this on Sunday, she came for dinner, and then the party size was around 2. So this is basically the dataset description which was given there, and that's what I'm explaining you. Same way there is a iris flower dataset where sepal का length 5 centimeter है, sepal का width जो है 3.5 है, petal का length and width you have given, and then what are the species of that iris flower that has been mentioned in this dataset. So what we'll try to do is we'll try to form or kind of draw multiple charts based on this given datasets. So let's start with some of the basic plotting functions in Seaborn. So सबसे पहले हम लोग स्टार्ट करते हैं scatter plot से. If you remember, scatter plot has nothing but this dot which appears in your graphs, and same things can be done via Seaborn as well. So what we'll do is we'll try to load this tips dataset from sns.load dataset and then provide the name of your dataset. So this will basically contain all the values which you are seeing here. Now what I want is कि based on the total bill and हर एक bill पे कितना tip waiter को मिला है, I want to kind of draw a scatter plot. So to do that, we simply have to run this cell which says sns scatter plot. X axis में I want total bill, y axis में I want the tip, and then data for this is tips. Then you can also make use of this matplotlib ka plt to title, and then matplotlib plt dot show. So basically this will display the chart in this particular notebook cell. So if I run this, there you see कि total bill ये है, tip amount ये है, and there are multiple, most of the tips are between this $2 to $4 का range, and then the bill was around $10 to $20. So let's say I want to also display a line chart for another dataset. So let's say I am loading another dataset, flights. First I'll do is I'll comment out this, and there you see कि each year, each month कितने पैसेंजर ने ट्रैवल किया है, that dataset is written. I want to show a line chart showing कि year by year उस लाइन चार्ट में कितने पैसेंजर ट्रैवल किए हैं. तो बेसिकली इफ यू रिमेंबर, लाइन चार्ट हम लोग कब यूज़ करते हैं, जब भी हम लोग को कोई भी टाइम फ्रेम को एक कॉन्स्टेंट में रख करके हमें ड्रॉ करना होता है, फिर दिखाना होता है. इन दैट केसेस वी यूज़ लाइन चार्ट्स. सो व्हाट विल डू इज विल ट्राई टू हैव दिस एक्स एक्सिस एज ईयर, y axis as number of passengers, and data set would be flights, which is nothing but a pandas data frame. And then the same thing plt.title will put, and then plt.show to show this in my notebook. So let's run this, and there you see this line chart beautifully has been drawn via Seaborn. Let's move on to the next section, which is categorical plot. तो हम लोग बेसिक प्लॉट स्कैटर प्लॉट में देख लिए, नाउ हम लोग कैटेगोरिकल प्लॉट में आते हैं. तो लेट्स सबसे पहले स्टार्ट करते हैं स्ट्रिप प्लॉट से. स्ट्रिप प्लॉट क्या होता है? बेसिकली आपको अगर एक एक्सिस में आपको सारे कैटेगरी को दिखाना है, तो बेसिकली वन ऑफ द कैटेगरीज इन विल बी वन एक्सिस. सो इफ आई ड्रॉ दिस अगेन, इन एक्स एक्सिस वुड बी डे, वाई एक्सिस वुड बी टिप, एंड इफ आई रन दिस, सो देयर यू सी कि थर्सडे को इतने सारे टिप्स मिले हैं, फ्राइडे को ये सारे टिप्स मिले हैं, सैटरडे को ये सारे टिप्स मिले हैं, संडे को ये सारे टिप्स मिले हैं. तो बेसिकली वेन एवर यू हैव टू डील विद एनी कैटेगोरिकल डेटा, इन दोज केसेज यू कैन गो अहेड विद द स्ट्रिप प्लॉट. स्ट्रिप प्लॉट का ही एक और सिमिलर है विच इज़ स्वाम प्लॉट. तो यहाँ पे क्या है ना कि काफ़ी सारा डॉट्स यू वुड बी सीइंग कि गेटिंग ओवरलैप्ड. इन केसेस वेयर यू वांट कि ये ओवरलैपिंग ना हो, रैदर वन बाय वन हो, इन दोज केसेस यू कैन मेक यूज ऑफ स्वाम प्लॉट. तो हम लोग बेसिकली स्ट्रिप प्लॉट में क्या करते थे, एसएनए डॉट स्ट्रिप प्लॉट, पास योर एक्स एंड वाई एक्सिस वैल्यूज एंड देन द डेटा. Instead of this, we'll pass swarm plot, and then you see the plotting would be something like this. So there will be no overlapping of all these dots. Rather, in case let's say $2 का जो टिप है हर एक दिन थर्सडे को मिला, तो now this will be kind of horizontally spread instead of getting one to one after the other, like overlapping will not happen in case of swarm plot. Then moving on to the next categorical plot, which is the box plot. So again things remain as it is, we just have to change this box plot, and there you will see the entire values are now getting converted inside a box with multiple other values. So here you see this is the minimum value, this is the maximum value, this is your medium, which is the kind of the middle values, and then there are few outliers as well based on the given days, and everything can be very easily identified via making use of all these charts which are present as part of Seaborn library. देन अगर आपको सेम चीज़ को वायलिन प्लॉट में देखना है कि क्या डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है टिप्स का बेस्ड ऑन द गिवन डे, तो अगेन विल ट्राई टू यूज़ दिस वायलिन प्लॉट एंड देन पास एक्स का एक्सिस में डे, वाई एक्सिस में टिप, एंड द डेटा वुड बी द सेम टिप्स डेटा फ्रेम. एंड इफ आई रन plt.show here, there you see this is the distribution on Thursday. Basically most of the distribution, most of the tips were around $2. On Friday there were some around $2.5 you had most of the distribution, and Saturday you had around again $2.5 ka distribution. On Sunday you had a little different kind of a violin chart where you had some at 3.75, some at $2, and all other details you can see here via this violin plot. Moving on to the next plot, which is the point plot, which basically in cases you want to show the mean via making use of the points, in those cases you can make the point plot. So if you see, if I run this, here you will have the minimum value, here you will have the maximum value, and this point is nothing but the mean of that day ka tips. So whatever the tips that waiter received, uska jo mean hai, that you will see as a point for each day in the point plot. Same way, if you have to kind of show the average tip in that ka mean, then in that case you can also make use of this bar plot, which would basically show that average tip day by day in the bar plot instead of having this as a point plot. Now we will move on to the next section, which is the statistical estimation plots in Seaborn, and we'll start with the histogram plot. So if you remember, in matplotlib also we had this histogram plot where we had to show the continuous variable, that how many numbers of observations are there in one bean, and entire things were basically shown inside a bean. Same things are also there in Seaborn as well. So what we'll do is we'll do sns.histplot, and on what category you want to basically have your histogram plot done, how many bins we want, and then maybe we'll skip as this as of now, and let's say I want 30 bins. And if I run this, there you see all of these occurrences of the total bills are now here in this histogram chart. Now if I just simply show here that I also want the smoothness of this histogram, then in that case I can make use of this kd equals to true, and there you will see that a line has been drawn which has basically kind of just to have the smoothness and just to have the direction of your histogram things, you can basically make use of this kd. Kd is nothing but the kernel density estimate. You can also draw only this except this histogram by making use of this kd plot, and there in case you want to have a fill true or not, maybe that this also I'll remove first, and then I'll run. There you see the same, kind of, the chart has been drawn in this kernel density estimate chart. And in case if you want to also fill this chart, you can make use of this fill equals to true, and there you'll see the entire chart has been filled. Alright, so now we'll see the other types of plotting in Seaborn. We'll start with the joint plot. So basically you can combine multiple scatter plots or histograms or KD plots to show the relationship between their variables and the distribution. So first what I'll do is I'll try to combine histograms with the scatter. So what I can simply make use is that SNS dot joint plot, pass x-axis, y-axis ka value, data, and then kind I want as a scatter. So if I run this cell, there you would see that histogram has also come, as well as the statistics, as well as the scatter chart has also come. Same way you can also do it for the KD to show the density of your data distribution, and here you will see that this part has also come, and then all the density is also there in on the all the tips which the weighter has received for total bills. You can also make use of this hexagonal plot to basically show the joint plot, and if I run this, you will see all these points are basically in the hexagonal shape, and there the colors are nothing but their intensity, how many times these tips were received by the weighter. Then you can also have the matrix plot done in Seaborn. So we'll start with the heat map part. So basically let's consider I have a flight data set which I earlier showed. Now I want to create a pivot out of that data set, where index I'll keep it as month, all the columns I want is as the year, and the values as the number of passengers. And based on this pivot, I can also create the heat map, that how many passengers for how many months, I mean for that given month, what is their basically occurrences. So if I run this, there you will see that heat map of the entire flight data, and here basically you will see that the highest number of passengers which are there in the more greener color, and there you can see that yellow is at the low and darker blue is the highest point, and that's when the entire heat map of the entire given flight data set is represented in this chart. Moving on to the next section, where we will try to learn about facet grid. So in cases where you want to grid of plots based on the values of one or more categorical variables which are present in your data set. So let's say I want to have a facet grid chart where the data set I want as the tips data frame, column I want as a day, and row I want a smoker. So I want multiple columns, multiple rows based on these two variables which are present in my data sets. So now I want to basically assign this facet grid as a variable g, and then I can make use of g.map. Which plot you want? I want a scatter plot on total bill of this tip. Now if I run this, there you will see columns are days. So let's say Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. These are my columns. Rows are the smoker. So smoker yes are all coming here. Smoker is equals to no are all coming here. And there you will see that based on that g.map, I am putting one scatter plot on total bill and tip. So you'll see that total bill by tip is plotted in this particular facet grid. So you can pass any variable, any categorical variable as part of your columns and rows, and those many rows and those many columns will be printed for you as part of this facet grid charts. Similar to that, we also have this pair grid. This is again a pairwise relationship if you have to show in your data set. In that case, you can make use of this particular pairwise plots. Again, things remain same. Instead of using this SNS.facet grid, this time I'll use SNS.pairgrid, pass my data frame name, and then map that as a histogram plot, and maybe off dialog I want as the scatter plot. And then once I run this, there you will see the entire data set, that whatever all the categories which are present in this Irish data set, starting from sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width. You also see sepal length, sepal width, petal length and petal width. So all of these you can easily see in the multiple pairwise graph by making use of this pair grid functionality of this Seaborn. We can also customize all these pair grid charts which you are seeing, their colors, their chart types easily with Seaborn. So consider that I want that histo plot as the diagonal, and the map ka upper mein I want the scatter plot, and map ka lower mein I want the KD plot, and I want to distinguish the colors based on the species which are available in my iris dataset. So if I run this, there you will see that in the diagonal I have all these histogram charts. On the upper I have this scattered plot, and at the lower I have this all of these as KD plots which are printed here, and the colors are the different species which are available in my datasets. Their colors are different in this chart as well. Moving on to the customization or other styling in Seaborn, let's consider that you have to basically change the theme of your chart. So there are basically few built themes which are available, like in dark grid is there, white grid is there, dark is there, white is there, and text is there. So let's do one thing. While what I have done here is that all of these themes I have put inside a list, and if I'm running this list one by one, and here you see this is how this in dark, and all of these are grid which you can see here. Then you have a white grid, you have a without grid which is a dark theme, you have without grid which is a white theme. So all of these are also possible inside your Seaborn library of Python. Moving on to the next section, which is like customizing the plot styles and colors of your charts, that also you can easily do. So let's say I want to basically customize my chart by setting the style as white grid, setting the palette as HUSL, and then I want a scatter plot on X as total bill, by Y as tips. Data is this, and if I run this, there you will see that the color is in this, and then the white white kit is my style of this particular chart which has been generated. Same way, there are some other advanced customizations available as well, such as if you want to set the titles, labels, annotations, axis limit, scales, legends. So like same things which we were also setting up in case of matplotlib, we can also do in the Seaborn as well. So if I run this, there you will see that the entire thing has been printed. We have also printed this arrow here by making use of this arrow property, and then changing their color, what is the string size. All of these can also be possible in case of Seaborn as well. You can also modify this axis limits. So let's say here you have 10 to 50 and 2 to 10. I want to modify this x limit from 10 to 50 to 0 to 60, and then 0 to 112 as the y limit. And if I run this, there you will see that from earlier it was 0 to 10, that has been changed to 0 to 12. Same thing, the total bill has been changed from 0 to 50 to 0 to 60. So all of these possibilities, all of these customizations can easily be done. You can also customize the legend. So these are all very basic things which can be done via Seaborn as well, with just a couple of lines of code. Then like I mentioned, you can also there are, since it is already on top of matplotlib, they can also combine Seaborn and matplotlib and basically create your own chart. So let's say I want to have one axis line, and then be horizontal and then vertical line at y5 color red, and then y x20 and color blue. So all of these can also be possible. Here you'll see that one line has been drawn by making use of matplotlib. Then you can also customize via making use of the matplotlib functionality, such as plt ticks was this matplotlib functionality, and that also can be used in Seaborn as well. So these are some of the basic things, or some of the few of the things which Seaborn offers to us. There are many more to be discovered, and that's where I have given all the resources and the further learning for the Seaborn for all of you. Please go through this session. If you also want to go through this documentation, they have this documentation available here, which is their official website. There you can go and see all types of charts which are available, which you can make use of in your daily use cases for analyzing the data sets which are there for you. There are also a few recommended books which I have recommended for all of you. If you have time, please go through these as well, which will be very helpful for your use case. Alright, so with that, we are coming to the end of this introduction to data visualization with Seaborn video. So please don't forget to like, share and leave a comment and letting me know कि आपको ये video कैसा लगा. Also share this video with your friend who may be interested in learning data science. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.